Hey, critics, let's go black on the inside of People Magazine's May 12th issue. Now, on the cover, Michael Bolton is there. He's talking, actually, unfortunately, about a brain cancer battle, where he opens up about being diagnosed with an aggressive version of glioblastoma and the gruesome treatment that he has had to endure, basically, while holding on to his sense of humor. And while time probably was a little bit different, he thought of it differently before. Now he feels like time is more valuable than ever, and his story begins on page 32. And something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time now is Denzel Washington. He's in the magazine being quoted saying that he is in the phase of his career where he's giving back. Of course, Broadway has really given back, and I want to give a shout out as well to Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Kandi Burruss, because listen, Broadway has made millions, and inside of Vogue magazine, Denzel as well as Jake Gyllenhaal, who actually plays the role of Iago, is it Iago? I believe is the name of the character that Jake plays, and of course Denzel plays the role of Othello. But the Broadway show basically brought in y'all $2.8 million in the first 7 days. Apparently unheard of for Broadway. And again, Mrs. Kandi Burruss, shout out to you for being the highest grossing black female Broadway producer. Okay, ever. Okay, along of course with your husband Todd. And while Kandi, I know she's produced other Broadway shows. I've talked about it as well on past episodes. Othello has surpassed them all in terms of profit. Congratulations to Denzel, Jake Gyllenhaal, as well as Kandi. Kandi and the gang. Well, really, it's Kandi and her husband, but of course, I had to throw the gang out there. And who special shout out to all of the individuals who are producers. While I only wrote down Kandi as well as Todd, there's other producers as well, but had to give a special shout out to Kandi Burruss. Okay, so you're probably wondering with this thumbnail, girl, where are you going with this? Well, it's time to get back into the Diddy news, baby. Writer Danielle Botcher, she actually wrote up a story in an article here. It starts on page 40 in People magazine. It takes us inside the courtroom, and the sketches show that Diddy's once black wavy hair is now gray, or as I like to say, a lot of salt and ain't no pepper. Okay. The article reminds us, though, that Diddy is now inmate number 37452-054. I hope I got the numbers right, y'all. But basically, if you remember, he was arrested in the lobby of a five-star Manhattan hotel back in February 2024. And he's actually been in the courtroom consistently as his trial has now officially begun as of yesterday. The jury selection process, I believe, is what's going on this week. Diddy, of course, currently faces 5 felony charges, including trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. And he has, of course, pleaded not guilty. And although he was reportedly given a plea deal, Combs not only turned down a plea deal, but also remains defiant that he did nothing wrong and continues to plead not guilty. There was also information out that Diddy and his team was trying to delay the trial, but was obviously unsuccessful in that request because, of course, it started right on Cinco de Mayo. And since the first wave, of course, of shocking criminal counts was unsealed against Combs last September, says Botcher, federal prosecutors have updated the indictment against him 3 separate times. The lawyer of Diddy, Mark Agnifilo, hopefully I'm saying Agnifilo. Sorry, it's Agnifilo. That sounds more comfortable coming off my tongue. He's quoted saying, "I expect a long battle with a good result. For the purpose of this case, it does, though, look like the prosecution is doing their job by just sort of painting a dark portrait of the music mogul and describes him as a ringleader, y'all, of a violent enterprise tied to kidnapping, arson, drug crimes, all while enabling widespread abuse." Cassie Ventura is set to testify and is said to be victim number one in this case. She is set to take the stand to discuss what she endured from their long relationship from 2007 to 2018. What's that, 11 years? 11 years of sacrifice. During basically their on again, off again relationship. As a reminder, she already won a settlement from Combs back in November 2023 from her assault lawsuit against him. Now, we don't really know exactly what the amount is, but the rumored amount allegedly is around 20 million is what they're saying, is what the rumor has out there. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you heard a different number, because I want to know. I want to know. But 6 months after the settlement, a video, of course, as a reminder, was released via CNN that was showing Diddy abusing Cassie in the lobby of a hotel. I spoke exclusively about this via breaking news. Now, the video, of course, can be found on my channel. Not only that, but I also specifically have the apology up on the channel, as well as Cassie's response to everyone after she filed the lawsuit. I think she was saying thank you for the support and all of the things, but it's also, I put that on the channel as well. Additionally, it does sound like that video that was, shown. I know that the Diddy side was trying to actually not have that video footage in court, but unfortunately, they are still going to use that video, according to this report, as evidence in the case. So they did not win that part, and they will not be able to remove that video as evidence in the case. They're going to be using it. They're going to be using it. Also, as a reminder, if you remember, side note, y'all, this was during a leaked conversation that he had with Kanye West. In my opinion, I think based off that conversation that they had together, and forgive me for not having the audio, Diddy gave the impression that wasn't nobody checking up on him, that the only person that truly reached out was really Kanye West, right? And Kanye has his own mental health challenges going on. So that's why I kind of reserve my opinion regarding Kanye a lot of the times. It's just because I don't think that Kanye is well at all. And he needs a level of assistance and help that is above my experience. But I do hope that Kanye is able to get the assistance that he needs. As a reminder, at least 3 other people will testify for the prosecution for the Diddy trial under pseudonyms regarding their abusive experiences with Combs. They are also saying that it is possible that Diddy actually might even testify in his own trial. And he seems, according to reports, he seemed to be eager to tell his side of the story. Now, this part, if Diddy takes the actual stand, that's going to be next level. Botcher reminds us that testifying will subject Combs to cross-examination, and former federal prosecutor Romani also knows that testifying will make his words admissible in more than 60 pending civil cases, and the odds are basically just kind of stacked against Combs, who is expected, they say, in spite of, to spend decades in prison. Y'all see Young Miami ain't acting like Mariah the Scientist, because Diddy's chances are slim to none. But slim is better than no chance at all, right? There's a few people that got a little bit of hope. But I have to say this. I do believe that Diddy had deep, deep, deep ties, not only in New York, but let's focus just on New York because that's where he was, that's where he was from, not only with law enforcement, but whomever it was, the state trooper, whoever it was. I believe that Diddy has such deep ties. Um, and we're living in an age, y'all, now where ain't no telling what can happen, right? Back in the day, we used to say ain't nobody above the law, but I feel like we're living in a time where there's some folks that's kind of shown us that, baby, maybe they is above the law, baby. Maybe they is above the law. I'm not saying that Diddy is, but I will say the fact that he didn't take the plea deal is there's something to be said about that. And the fact that he's willing to get on the stand and testify for himself, cha, it's more to this story than what we could ever expect. Now, according to the Law and Crime Network, it does seem that this week they are selecting a jury. They are also questioning the jurors to inquire about their past, etc. Shout out to Girl, Is That Legal? Simone, she has her own channel. Some of the questions that were asked, she actually went over those questions on her channel, so you can always check that out. Again, that's Girl, Is That Legal with Simone. But apparently they've selected about 6, I think, potential jurors as of today. So at this pace, according to Girl, Is That Legal, things are just kind of going slower than anticipated. And even Monday, the 12th, which is the assumption of when they'll have the jury selected and they can start. It sounds like that may actually not be the case. And just because I want to listen to probably Girl, Is That Legal with Simone for like the serious side of stuff, but for entertainment, I'm gonna watch Tisa Tales. Okay, I know y'all probably like, girl, but I'm gonna watch Tisa Tales because she is hilarious. I also wonder, side note, y'all, I'm just wondering about the critics now that I watch all the time. I also wonder if like the lead attorney. I wonder if lead attorney is gonna get into this and sort of dig deep. And either way, there's plenty of critics that's basically keeping up with this case. It's already been deemed, y'all, the trial of the century. Hope y'all are gonna be watching because I'm definitely gonna be keeping up, keeping up. I don't know where that came from. And last but not least, just want to talk real quick about the fact that the magazine goes inside of Universal's epic theme park in Orlando, which starts on page 52 and opens on May the 22nd. The spread highlights the Super Nintendo world, which is the only epic land that already exists. Other worlds include Dark Universe, Celestial Park, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, and How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berg. So my theme park people, my Disney, my Universal folk, if you're looking for something, spicy to do this summer that will allow you to just kind of do that at a theme park, go check out Universal. Now, of course, that does it for this episode. Thanks again for tuning in to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel, where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel so you never miss an upload.